Are you a successful business owner who has a laundry list of ideas and struggles to achieve your big goals? Welcome to the CEO Amplify podcast. I'm your host, Donna Dubé, and my goal is to empower you to drive meaningful change and amplify your profits without the overwhelm. Join us as we provide actionable solutions for visionary CEOs like yourself to up-level your CEO skills, streamline operations, and master strategic prioritization. Learn how to scale your business to new heights, working smarter, not harder. If you're ready to reclaim your time and accelerate your growth, let's dive in and start this exciting adventure together. Remember, the only limit to your business growth is the one you set for yourself. Welcome back, CEOs. So glad you're here. Today, I've got a little bit of truth talk, some tough love for some of you, but I want to have a conversation about having a plan, having a business plan that is rooted in strategy. Because the truth is, flying by the seat of our pants or winging it is not a business growth strategy. Now, if I know anything about you, you're an entrepreneur who had a brilliant idea and a lot of determination to succeed. And you dove headfirst into your venture, started your business, and of course you had dreams of some financial freedom, but also some independence. But then, reality check. While your passion and drive helped you get so far, they alone aren't going to keep your business afloat. Many entrepreneurs find themselves in a frustrating cycle of what I call feast or famine. 1 month they're overwhelmed with clients and revenue and things are great. And then next they're struggling to make ends meet and wondering if they're going to have to let go part of their team. And so today I really want to focus on why having a plan is so important. And I want to give you 4 actionable tips to successfully plan and win as the CEO. So let's get into it. Let's imagine now that we're talking with our business owner and her name is Sally. And Sally has a web design business and it's starting to take off. She's being flooded with projects. She's getting referrals. She's getting some people noticing her online from her social posts. And Sally is starting to work day and night. She's happy that she's getting a lot of projects, but she's noticing she can't do it all herself. So Sally brings on a couple of contractors to help her with some of the work, but she hasn't taken the time to plan for the future. So as these web design projects that have been coming in start to wrap up, Sally suddenly finds herself in famine mode. She's not getting as much revenue coming in, not as many new referrals are coming in, and she starts to panic. She's grappling with what am I going to do with this inconsistent cash flow? What about my team members that I brought in? And she's really uncertain about the future of her business. This feast or famine cycle is not unique to Sally. In fact, it's faced by countless small business owners. And do you know what the root cause is? It's a lack of a solid, proactive plan. So in this episode, I want to dive a little deeper into 4 actionable tips that will help you break free from this cycle, help you regain some control of your business, and create a clear plan for predictable profit. So how do we do this? Well, the first step to escaping this small business feast or famine, inconsistent cash flow, I have to tell you is not really sexy. And for some of you, you're probably not going to like the answer. But the truth is, if you want to build and grow a sustainable business, one that's going to support you and the life you want to lead, it starts with a real plan. If you want to make real progress and growth in your business, you need a real plan. If you want to say no to shiny objects and yes to action steps that actually move your business forward, you need a real plan. And if you want to know exactly where to focus your time and energy as the CEO of your business, so you can actually experience massive momentum and growth, you need, you guessed it, a real plan. Focusing just on short-term revenue bumps is not going to cut it. We have to be clear on what really moves a business forward. And we have to have systems in place in order to support that. Okay, so let's dive in. What are these 4 actionable tips? The first one is to make a plan for predictable profit. It's time to start shifting from relying solely on those revenue spikes, those feast times in our business, to looking at building a sustainable business that can last. When you have a clear plan in place, a comprehensive strategy that really helps move your business forward, it makes all the world of difference for both you and your team. So there's a few pieces of making a plan for predictable profit. The first is creating a clear marketing strategy. Now, when I say marketing strategy, it's not just enough to say, I'm going to market, I'm going to post on social, on this channel, so many times, this many reels, do lives twice a day, whatever that looks like for you. It's much deeper than that. I want you to dive in and define your target audience. Really know who they are. What is your customer journey? And know what those steps are. Map out their customer journey steps. And then focus on your messaging, fine-tuning and tweaking so that it's really resonating with your audience. And of course, strategically positioning and pricing your offers for predictable profit. The second piece of having a predictable profit plan for predictable profit, is long-term vision. So again, while those short-term revenue bumps look good in the pocketbook, and they can be very tempting when we need some increased cash flow, a long-term vision is really the foundation of a successful business. When we develop a roadmap for, say, the next 1, 3, maybe even 5 years, we're going to be setting financial and also non-financial goals, and then breaking those down into actionable steps that we can actually follow through and stay accountable for. And this is exactly what we do in the CEO 90-day sprint. We take what your 12-month goals are, we break them down into 90-day goals, and then we map those out into actionable steps on a weekly basis. You're encouraged to use your CEO Power Hour every week, figure out what your top 3 priorities are, block off time, stay accountable. It's about focusing, prioritizing, and propelling your business forward week by week. But if we don't have that long-term vision, it's really hard to know what are my weekly action steps. And for a lot of you, it's sometimes difficult to take that long-term vision and break that down. So that's exactly what we help you with in the CEO 90-day sprint. Check it out if that resonates with you. Okay, the third piece of having a predictable profit plan is systematizing. Is that even a word? Well, it is now. Basically, systematizing, making rinse and repeat systems that you can use over and over and replicate in your business. It's developing those processes and systems for the strategies that are working in your business. It helps create predictability and scalability when you're ready to go there. Think about it like creating a playbook almost, if you will, for your business operations and your marketing efforts, so that both you and your team know exactly what the processes are for selling, marketing, onboarding, offboarding, all of those pieces of your business. All right, tip number 2 is to create a clear revenue plan. So if we want to aim for having consistent cash flow, we have to plan out when, how, and what we're going to promote in terms of our products and our services. We need to be able to have a plan for when our signature program is going to be promoted, when we're going to promote our smaller offer, when we're going to do a challenge or a masterclass or a live 3-day something. And so all of that needs to be planned out so that you and your team know we're doing this promotion. It's leading to this sale of this product. It helps reduce stress and certainly helps reduce uncertainty and cash flow issues because we don't have a plan. So here are some of the pieces for creating a clear revenue plan. We need some sort of launch calendar. Now, some of you may be listening to me and going, oh, no, Donna, I don't do live launches. I used to do that. That causes me stress. It's terrible. I don't like that model. I'm done. And when I say launch calendar, it's not about a live launch. It's a launch calendar for you and your team to know when and how you're promoting your different offerings through the year. So during the month of September, what are you promoting? During the month of October, what are you promoting? You should have a planned out marketing plan, if you want to call it that, for what you're going to do and what you're going to sell for the next quarter coming up. This helps provide structure and helps you capitalize on seasonality and market trends, right? So if you have holidays coming up and you want to sell something that you have, maybe you're going to do a Black Friday sale, you need to plan that out and promote that in time for Black Friday. And so it helps you really focus on what's happening in the world, what's happening in your life, and be able to plan out your services and your products. It's looking at repeat sales strategy. So remember, I think they say it's 7 times easier to sell to existing clients than to acquire new ones. So we need to make sure that we're developing strategies to retain and upsell our current customers. Maybe that's loyalty programs or subscription models or perhaps exclusive offers just for repeat customers. But we need a plan in there to be able to keep those people in our world and coming back. And then last is what I call goal-oriented promotions. So again, you want to align your promotions with specific goals that you might have. So for example, let's say you've set targets for your revenue growth and you know that in the summertime it's slower months. You can create certain promotions that will drive urgency and more demand during those slower times. If you know already that's a slower time, purposely plan out a promotion to help drive sales. All right, tip number 3, tracking your metrics. Yes, I am a data nerd and I strongly believe in the insight that data will show us in our business. And I know for some of you, metrics is not one of the things you really enjoy. But again, you don't have to go deep. Tracking 4 or 5 metrics is a very good place to start and will give you insights into what's happening in your business. So we want to be able to anticipate the outcomes and we want to be able to make data-driven decisions, right? We want to be able to fine-tune what we're doing, know what's really working and dial in on that. And perhaps drop what's not working so well or change what's not working so well so it can work better. So when we effectively track our metrics, it helps us forecast. It helps us look at the historical data to then be able to forecast our future results. So for instance, if you know that 30% of the people who attend your webinars become paid clients, you can now set clear goals for how many webinars you need to host in order to sell to the number of clients you need. But without knowing what that conversion rate is, without looking at what that is, you're just picking random numbers. So use that historical data to really focus and forecast what your results are going to be. Understanding your conversion rates at different stages in your sales funnel. So for example, you might have a lead magnet that brings people into your world. What's your conversion rate on your lead magnet? You may have a welcome sequence with a bunch of emails they get after that. What's your open rates on that welcome sequence? Later on, you might have a sales sequence in emails. What's your conversion rate from your emails get to your sales page? And then from your sales page to your checkout page. You need to know those numbers so that you can tweak and adjust and set realistic targets and expectations. when you're going to sell a brand new product, of course, you don't know how that's going to convert. But you do have historical data on the other offerings and services that you have. And so you can use that to help. Breaking down your conversion rates at each stage of the customer journey will help you in knowing where you might need to tweak or adjust things to get even better results. And then the last piece of tracking our metrics is really optimizing our marketing, refining our marketing efforts based on data-driven insights, right? We're no longer guessing. It's coming straight from what the data is showing us, and the numbers don't lie. So if, for example, your click-through rates are really low, then you might want to experiment with different calls to action, maybe different email subject lines, or if it's an ad, changing up your ad copy to be able to increase engagement. If you want to take it a step further, you can look at A/B testing and other systems to be able to evaluate what's really working for you. And then the fourth and final tip for being able to plan and have predictable profit is to streamline your operations and team. So again, I don't want you to think all corporate and have a very, very rigid structure. You don't need that. But some level of organization and clarity is crucial. Your team members need to know with clarity what their roles and their responsibilities are. They need to know with clarity what the business goals are, and that needs to be communicated to them. This helps empower your team to make decisions that are in line with your company's mission and vision. And it also helps reduce micromanagement, right? So that you don't have to be on top of every little piece that they're doing. They can work autonomously. So inside of this, here's some things to think about. Clearly defined roles. Again, ensuring that every team member knows their responsibilities and how they're contributing to the business success. When team members understand their role, there's less room for confusion and bottlenecks, times when things get stuck and we can't move forward. So having clear documentation of job descriptions, the responsibilities, and the expectations, it's got to be there from the beginning. Regular communication. And yes, this means regular communication by you, the CEO. Encourage open and regular communication with your team, right? This helps to catch and address any issues before they escalate. So what does this look like? It means holding regular team meetings. It means using project management tools to help with collaboration. It means establishing clear channels of communication so that when your team has a question, they know where to go and what to ask. It means meeting with your team, whether it's monthly or quarterly, to let them know what the plan is going forward for the business, what the priorities are. And lastly, the third tip is quarterly planning. So sharing your goals and priorities with your team so that everyone's aligned with the company vision. Discussing what your strategic direction is, any upcoming projects, and of course, individual team member goals so that everybody's clear and they're not left in the dark. All right, so that's 4 tips to help you successfully plan and win as the CEO of your business. And I hope that by going through this, you've seen that wishing for success isn't just a strategy. Crafting a well thought out plan certainly is. So now that you've learned how to make a plan for predictable profit, create a clear revenue plan, track your metrics, and streamline your operations and teams, I hope that these steps will help you regain control of your business and actually position you for sustainable growth and success. Remember, a wish is not a business strategy, but a meticulously crafted plan is the path to creating sustainable, thriving business. Again, if some of this resonates with you and you'd like some help in creating this plan, head on over to ceoamplify.ca 90-day and learn a little bit about the 90-day sprint. It's starting at the beginning of October, and we'd love to see you inside. Take care. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining me on this episode of CEO Amplify. I appreciate you being part of our thriving community of ambitious business owners. If you enjoyed today's episode, I kindly ask you to share this podcast with a friend and take a hot minute to rate and leave a review. It would mean the world to me. Your feedback helps me reach more people and continue providing valuable content. Thanks so much for your support. Keep shining, and we'll catch you on the next episode.